You don't have to worry about anything bad happening. You're in space now.
Apollo found some macadamia nuts and decided to test orbital mechanics and also at the same time test his skill and coordination. It seemed like there was not too many macadamia nuts he could eat at one time. You could see he was celebrating his victory.
Zero G is like fantastic. It's so much fun. And everybody's graceful. You look like a ballerina. I mean, it's just really fun to maneuver in Zero G. You can do what look like these heroic feats of activity just using a single finger as you flip yourself around and maneuver yourself.
Oh, it's so beautiful doing this. Just the coast and glide. I'm guessing my mom is watching so I can say, look, Mom, no hands.
This is Mission Control Houston with the view of the Space Shuttle Discovery. Backdropped my views of the Andes mountain range in South America as Discovery and the International Space Station pass about 215 statute miles above the continent.
Over the western coast of the United States, where you can clearly see those wildfires which have been burning in multiple areas of Southern California.
One of the most important things we do is to take pictures of the Earth. I call it our hidden payload because we don't always talk about it in America. So I'll get the camera set up about 2 or 3 minutes prior, and I'll be looking out the window, and you see the lake come into view, and you take a picture of it. And if we're lucky, it was in focus, and it was the feature that the scientist wanted to see. So a lot of times we're the first people to take aerial pictures in remote locations, especially of volcanoes or mudslides or a lot of times big hurricanes. Picture of the Earth that was taken on Apollo 17, where you see Africa and the clouds and everything. It's sort of the classic picture. They say that one picture has had the most effect on the environmental movement that has started from the 60s to now.
Houston Discovery with a weather report for Florida. We could see the runway from orbit, so we're thinking the weather there is looking pretty good.
We always know when we're over the United States, especially during the day, because everybody feels a sense of wanting to look at it. And of course, we all know each other's hometowns, so we always kind of keep our eye out for that. I do remember one time looking out and seeing the Finger Lakes, which are such a distinctive feature, and knowing right where we were, and just dropping everything and saying, "Get the cameras, we're over Rochester."
I'm looking at my hometown. Really? Yeah, let me see if I can find Lombard. Oh, look at that. Wow, that's an awesome view. I see O'Hare Airport, so I can make out.
Flying two 250,000-pound vehicles and trying to mate them up together. The good news is those thrusters in this microgravity environment that we're in are very precise, and you can actually move yourself very, very small amounts, like an inch or a couple of inches, but you have to kind of be able to anticipate. We actually have to dock within about an inch and a degree, so we try to be very precise.
This is Mission Control Houston, docking confirmed of the Space Shuttle Discovery to the International Space Station at 7:40 a.m. Central Time.
Discovery arriving.
Now the space station doesn't land, so it's out there. It's like a ship out in the ocean with no way to come into port. But the space shuttle is just like an enormous space truck. We carry all kinds of cargo, but we also carry extra air, oxygen and nitrogen, just like we breathe here on the Earth. There's actually a series of plumbing all the way through the space station so that we can hook hoses up and pump oxygen and nitrogen out of the shuttle systems into the station systems and resupply them. Every time you do a spacewalk, you let air out of the airlock and it's gone forever, and you have to recharge it from the tanks. So it's important that we are good house guests, and instead of eating up all the groceries, in this case breathing all their air and letting it out on the EVAs, we're going to recharge their systems so that we have been good neighbors and good friends, and we have left them with just as much air as they had when we arrived.
I really hope that we can inspire young women to do more in math, science, and engineering. There just really isn't a better job than this, and Peggy, it actually has been a lot of fun. I think the most fun part about it is just being friends and being up here together. But I agree with Peggy that inspiring girls to study math and science and hopefully be the commander someday of an expedition to Mars is something that feels just great to us.
Guys, it's all about doing science in space. Remember your labs when you were a kid in school? You change one parameter at a time. You change one thing and you see what happens that's different. Well, in microgravity, everything is different. The way our bodies behave is different. The way flames burn is different. A laboratory that we can do science 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. Each time we go up, we bring a new piece of the space station. So just like building any big house, you have different elements to it. You might have the kitchen first, you might have the bedrooms first, then you build the living room, then you might build a workroom, then you might add the garage, and so that's what we're doing.
The shuttle robotic arm is being operated by Discovery's astronauts Stephanie Wilson and George Zamka.
Once we get this element out there, and for us it's node 2, we have to attach it. The space station arm can actually reach node 2, and they will install it on the space station. So that's our big delivery task. But wait, there's more. In our case, we're actually relocating a solar array. Now, we need solar arrays in space to provide power because the space station is a laboratory. If you've ever been inside a laboratory, you know there's plugs and outlets everywhere in those laboratories. You got to keep your computers running, you got to keep your experiments running, you have to keep air conditioning running. We have to keep the people inside the station alive. So the solar arrays collect rays from the sun, light from the sun, and convert it to electricity and store it in batteries.
Houston Alpha on the big loop. We are preparing for the solar array deploy. Go out there and fix that thing for us.
And we will.
Astronaut Scott Parazynski is starting to install the hardware that was built on board the station to provide structural support for the solar array panels.
Yeah, that was a really nice job. It took them all day, and now they'll be out there forever, which is kind of fun.
Yes, it is.
Tired coming into gravity after being in zero gravity, your body kind of takes a vacation, it's really comfortable, it's easy for your heart to pump the blood around your body. You feel crunched down in the seat and you feel really heavy. So all this stuff is going on while you're trying to fly at the same time. You feel crunched down in the seat and you feel really heavy. So all this stuff is going on while you're trying to fly at the same time. So all this stuff is going on while you're trying to fly at the same time.